Many of them are multi-millionaires. Why would they do something to make more money when they have enough for the next 10 generations? Greed. And it's not that they are the only guys who are doing it. All of us are doing it. Luckily, we don't have the wherewithal to destroy ourselves. That's what, what's his name, Bill Gates and some of these other guys. You should read that article which I read about their, they've seen how destructive wealth can be. And they say, just one second, we want to give our children from our inheritance just enough that they can lead a middle class lifestyle. Nothing beyond. Beyond that goes to charity. An Indian will hoard and hoard and hoard. Will destroy himself and his children and his grandchildren and great-grandchildren, but he will not let go of them. So, coming back, intellect. It's because of lack of intellect. To think and reason, to understand what's happening. Yeah, you have a question.
No, but when you're saying about decisions, we tell everyone that we should follow our heart, right? In important decisions, like you said about marrying someone, or big decisions, is like we say, follow your heart. Or even kids, when we tell them, what do I like to become? Do you want to do this or do that? We say, follow your heart, follow your dream, and naturally use the intellect for decision making.
That's what you say.
Right.
That may not be right. Number one. Number two.
Okay.
When you say, there is some truth in it. When choosing a vocation in life, I'm glad you brought this out, I was coming to it later. You say, follow your heart, but not without intellect. In other words, choose your vocation according to your heart, because you're born with a talent, a gift, what we call as svadharma, your own nature, in which you must identify and in which you must invest your energy. Right? But after identifying, you must use your intellect. Suppose I decide I want to be a musician. I can't become an extraordinary musician by just following the heart, because the next day the heart will say, don't do riyaz. You get it? So use your intellect to identify your svadharma, to follow your heart. But the intellect must be in place all the time.
So is this a proper presumption that 1,000 years back the intellect was very closely aligned with our thinking, and that has shifted, and that's why we have all these guilty pleasures that have been created by mankind? Or
see, it's difficult to say. In any age, there are people who use their intellect, there are mad people who don't use their intellect. But yes, by and large, when Vedanta was at a high, people were using their intellect. And therefore, historically we know, it was the golden era in India. So there was prosperity, there was happiness, there were low crime rates, our homes had no locks, no fancy security things that we have now. And happiness was high, and people were spiritually evolved. Now, the greater the deterioration of the intellect, then you see people doing bizarre things. Like this, what happened in Boston. Why would people suddenly do something as crazy as that? It's crazy. Because there's no way out except death. On your way to destroying yourself, you destroy a few more people. That's all that is. So intellect is important. And then, how do you strengthen that intellect? With values. Because the mind is misled. So you need values. Now what are these values? Since you gave me 45 minutes, I am restricting myself to 3 very important values in that. Which is, and I am not complaining, just saying. When we act, we can act with one of 2 attitudes. Either the attitude of giving or the attitude of taking. What do you think most human beings act with? Taking. We go anywhere, we call a person, we send an email to anyone, we invest even a thought in anything only because we see a profit in it, a return. Take it. We never think of giving at all. In the Kathopanishad, Nachiketas, the little boy, saw his father perform a yajna. Yajna is havan. And an inherent aspect of havan, a yajna, is dana, charity. So like us, that guy didn't want to do charity. So what did he give? Cows, old cows that had stopped yielding milk, that had stopped reproducing. He gave that as charity. And Nachiketas, the boy, understood what horrible repercussions would come as a result of that. So he went to his father and said, Father, who will you give me to? Because you are supposed to give that which is dearest to you, not what is useless. Father dismissed it once, second time. Third time he got mad with him and said, I will give you to Yama. You know who Yama is? God of death. Right? So Nachiketas was pleased as punch. Off he went to Yama. The Kathopanishad starts with this. Giving is not there in our psyche at all. Again, why? Because taking is so pleasant. Grabbing is so nice. This is something that you have to think about, work it out in your mind and actually do it, even if it is indiscriminate giving. Do it. Even if you don't feel like giving, force yourself to do. And then see the return. You know, I told you we do this course for kids. Kids come back highly excited the next day. Yes, I did it and it worked. You give them little nuggets. Give, you gain. Grab, you lose. Try it out in your own life and see. When you meet a person, even if it is a business meeting, your first and last thought should be, what can I do for you? How can I add value to you? And then it becomes a different thing. You know, the Starbucks guy, he's written a book called It's Not About Coffee, right? Pour your heart into it, correct. He says the founders of Starbucks were not in it for profit. What they wanted was to give the American public superior quality coffee which they never had. They had junk, the lower variety of coffee. And they wanted them to wanted to give fellow Americans the same experience, coffee experience that people in Europe had. This is what motivated them. And today it has a cult following. There are people who say, unless I stop at Starbucks, I can't work. So even in business, you must have the attitude of giving. You can't say, it's our culture that talks about it. And Indians the world over have just the attitude of grabbing. So it doesn't help. I was talking to people in Houston the other day. It doesn't help going through. So what is religion boiled down to? Mechanical rituals, blind belief and superstition. That's it. Beyond that, there's nothing in religion. So just going through the rituals or following something blindly, going to an astrologer when things go wrong is not going to help. You need knowledge. So, knowledge of what? What needs it? Develop that intellect, gain values. Learn the art of giving. It's an art. When you give, first of all, you get far more than you have given. Take examples. When Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi came back with a law degree from England to India, he could have started a law practice, right? How much would he have earned? And what he actually earned in his lifetime was far in excess of what his legal practice would have been. Forget that. Recently his glasses were auctioned for a couple of £1 million. Don't you remember? khadi now has become high fashion. That's the man rocked the world. Look anywhere. Even in business, when Ratan Tata decided to come up with a car, he saw a family of 4 riding in a two-wheeler. He said, I must come up with a car that the guy can afford. And suddenly, I come here every year. You see, when you think of automobile manufacturing, you think of what? The Americans, Japanese, Germans. In your wildest dream, you won't think of India. And yet, Ratan Tata came up with a car that cost $2,500 and took the world by storm. Everyone was talking. Al Gore, when he ran for president, the media nicknamed him Al Gore. No one was interested in him, he lost. Later, suddenly, when he started working for the environment, every major American channel had him on prime time. What changed? How did the board disappear? Because he was working for something beyond himself. He was thinking of giving. Same thing will happen to you. You know, in India, and those of you who remember, who are old enough, I was brought up, I'm sure Mahesh remembers, and I don't mean you're old enough. We were brought up in an environment of shortages. Rice was rationed, wheat was rationed, sugar was rationed, milk was rationed. Dire shortage of milk. In that environment, one man appeared on the scene who thought, instead of going up the corporate ladder, or how can I change the situation out there? And that one man's one creative idea changed the face of the nation from a land of milk shortage to the largest producer of milk in the world in a matter of 10 years. An impossible task. Yet he did it. This is the power of the thought of giving. Just thought. You don't have to give anything. What can you give? We are all in a state of bankruptcy. What can you give? You know why I say bankruptcy? Because you've taken far in excess of what you can ever give. So, just think of it and see what power comes. You will achieve success, you will be happy. The law is all selfish people will be unhappy. So, to the extent you are unhappy or stressed out, it is not the mother-in-law or the boss or somebody who is responsible. It is you and your selfishness. At least accept that. And work towards changing. And you grow into a towering personality. Second, whatever love we profess to have is attachment, which is dependence. Again, it's selfishness. So it's become a business. Just as you transact business at the material level, you transact business emotionally. You say, I will do this much for you, provided you do this much for me. I've heard wives in India say, it could be the husband also, I'm just giving an example. I do so much for my husband, he must also do this for me. So I say, is he your business partner or is he your husband? You just do what you are capable of doing. Maybe you have a higher capacity. Thank your stars, you have a higher capacity. Maybe he's just functioning according to his capacity. He can't do more than what he's doing. So, accept it. Love is not transacting. Love is just giving. It's a one-sided thing. You love the person for what he or she is. With the pluses, with the minuses. And don't demand anything. Don't expect anything. Particularly with children. Children are treated as commodities through which you vicariously live your ambitions. But if you don't have the capacity to come up to that level, you have no right to expect it of children. You want your kid to excel in sport, to excel in academics, to be a good person, how can it be? I ask people in India, they say, oh, why am I all stressed out because I don't know whether my daughter is going to get 90%. I said, what percentage did you get? 40. Then thank your stars if she gets even 70. After all, she's got your genes, right? How can she do better than you? I'm not saying we should not encourage them to do better, but to expect them to do and to demand it and to get upset when they don't is ridiculous. It's the height of insanity. This is attachment. Detachment is where you understand that you got a seed, right? A mango seed can never become a pineapple tree, however much you may want it. Similarly, you have seeds, and your business is that to be a gardener, which is water the seed, give it soil, and give your children what they need so that they can blossom into what they are designed to blossom. You can't squeeze them and turn them and twist them to become what you want them to be. That is why, because right from the time they're born, you say, do it because I want it. By the time earlier it used to be teenagers, now by the time they're 8 or 10, they become highly rebellious. I don't need to tell you, you must have seen it. I saw a mother just now, a few days back. All she had to do was, Beta, have you had breakfast? Get off my back! And she complained about him. I said, there's nothing wrong with him. It's a reflection of what you've done with him for 18 years. And you're getting it back. That is attachment. Same thing husband, wife. When they are together, they're bickering at each other. When he decides to go to New York for a business trip, he hasn't even left San Francisco airport. And the wife sends a message, I'm missing you. That's attachment. When the person is there, you can't enjoy it. When the person is not there, you miss. It's genuine. It's not fake. I'm asking you to think, why is it? It is a fact that we are having conflict with the people we love most. Because the love is not loving them, it's self-love. You only love yourself. So all you have to do is whatever love you have, minus selfishness, equals true love. If you truly love a person, it comes from independence, it comes from self-sufficiency. You're perfectly comfortable with yourself alone. And you have wonderful relationships. It's not that you're crippled, If I had something wrong with my leg, polio in one leg, I would be a cripple. I need to depend on something. I need a crutch. But if I'm perfectly capable of standing on my own feet, I still have the luxury of leaning against someone. That is having wonderful relationships. Last, discrimination. Your thinking can be confined to the world, or you can think beyond the world. Our thinking is all confined to the world. And very, very basic. I'm asking you to think beyond the world, and then you get this spurt of dynamism, of exhilaration, of joy. You take a look at people going to work every day. Does anyone look excited? I'm going. One day visa, one day Intel, third day something else. The moment the calendar comes out in the beginning of the year, everyone looks at the calendar for what? Long weekends. You plan your vacation in advance. And then if it's a 3-day holiday, the many holidays, you take 2 more days and make it the whole week. No one ever says, I've had 3 holidays, let me work extra. Who says that? No one.
But everybody does over here. You have to work.
Oh,
It's hard.
No choice.
No choice.
There's no over here, everywhere people work.
Yeah.
That,
It's not like
I'm not saying working because you have to. I'm talking about looking forward.
Yeah, looking for some of it. I look forward for my work all the time.
When you're blessed.
I really enjoy my work.
So, that's not the point. The point is
Yeah.
thinking beyond the work. When was the last time you looked up at the sky and wondered who created the stars? Some of the stars are millions of light years away from us. It's mind-boggling. You try and convert that into a figure. It's like a blanket where there's no pollution. I remember going to Ooty. You look up at the sky, there's thousands of stars. And you feel like if you reach out, you'll touch one of them. So brilliant. The sun, the moon. Look, think of yourself. What a wonderful machine you have, the heart. You don't do anything stupid. It runs right through your life. No breakdowns, no annual maintenance contract, nothing. Seamlessly. And what a beautiful aesthetic machine. Have you seen a heart-lung machine outside? Ugly, noisy thing. Flowers, fruit, mango. You like mango? Mango season in India is just starting. When you eat a mango, have you ever thought, who created this? So, what a wonderful shape, color, size, the shade, texture, taste, heavenly. No chemical technologist in the world has been able to even so much as match it.